Financial aid is coming to Illinois farmers, the federal assistance available after the recent rounds of severe weather. Plus, the investigation into the ongoing assassination attempt of former President Trump. The ongoing investigation, that is, what a Pennsylvania SWAT team had to say about the shooting. And taking the green for a cause, the fundraiser providing support for local hospice patients.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. We thank you for being here. I'm Wendell Edwards. Mimi Murphy is off tonight. Assistance is headed to farmers across Illinois after the most recent round of storms. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is providing technical and financial assistance for farmers impacted by tornadoes, high winds, and flooding. Livestock producers must submit documentation by March 3rd of deaths or reduce sales. Producers who have crop insurance should report damage to their agent or FSA office within 3 days of discovery. USDA recommends contacting your local service center to learn more about program options. After several weeks, the Winnebago County boaters now can get back out on the Rock River. The sheriff's office announced the no wake restriction has been lifted for the Rock River now. Authorities want to remind boaters, though, to look out for any debris in the water and to stay alert to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience while on the river. Tonight, a new national rule could help people beat the heat and stay cool while at work. The act hopes to protect workers and communities from extreme weather, including excessive heat. It would happen by enforcing new workplace regulations for those who work in the hot sun, like taking longer breaks when working conditions rise above 80 degrees. But one UI professor says these changes may be difficult to implement after a recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling.
And the regulation was aimed at preventing overfishing of domestic fish stocks. But the ruling is very broadly stated. So that ruling would certainly impact OSHA, and it would affect a whole range of federal regulations as well.
Experts say the Supreme Court's decision could end up OSHA's place in mandating regulations. Lawmakers are working, though, on legislation to protect the excessive heat regulations from that Supreme Court ruling. Tonight, we're learning more about the failure to stop the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. And for the first time, members of that local SWAT team in Pennsylvania that played a key role in protecting them are telling their stories. Rena Roy, listen to what they're saying.
In their first public comments, members of the Beaver County SWAT team speaking exclusively with ABC News, describing what they say were planning and communication failures surrounding the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. That shooting killed a local firefighter and severely injured 2 others at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania earlier this month. The SWAT team says they noticed the suspect, Thomas Matthew Crooks, nearly 2 hours before the shooting, and something seemed off. At 4:26 p.m., one of the snipers texted, "You see me go out with my rifle, so he knows you guys are up there." By 5:14 p.m., they grew suspicious.
He was looking up and down the building and just wandering around, and it just seemed out of place.
Greg Nichols says he snapped these photos of the shooter and shared them in a group text to local snipers on the scene.
I assumed that there would be somebody coming out to, speak with this individual.
We have to assume that when he put that information out to command, that command took that information and did something with it.
It's unclear if their concerns reached members of Trump's Secret Service detail. The Washington Post reports the agents complained they were not made aware of the warnings.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
The Secret Service declined to respond directly, but tells ABC News it's committed to better understanding what happened and is offering complete cooperation with ongoing investigations.
That was Rena Roy reporting. Governor J.P. Pritzker again facing more questions about whether he's under serious consideration to be Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. And the governor again sidestepping those questions.
Maybe the 73rd time that you and your colleagues have asked this question. I'm not going to talk about those conversations today.
Are you denying that you have had any conversations about being a potential VP pick?
All I'm saying is that I'm going to work my heart out for this ticket.
Last week, the Sun-Times reported Governor Pritzker was contacted to submit vetting materials to the Harris campaign, but the governor and his representatives have continually declined to confirm whether that happened. Today, the governor also announced $18 million in funding for the fourth round of the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program. It provides training opportunities and boosts diversity in the construction industry and building trades. The program launched in 2021. Gas prices continue to rise in the Forest City. The average price of gas in Rockford sits at $3.72 a gallon. That's 6 cents rise in the last week and 22 cents higher than a month ago. Experts at Gas Buddies say prices in the Great Lakes region are still being impacted by a refinery outage in Joliet. Demand for gas is dropping, but oil prices are struggling, which would lead to a fall in prices. But hurricane season is just getting into its prime, which could drive costs even higher. State line golfers tee off for a good cause. Today, Northern Illinois Hospice Foundation held its 36th annual charity golf event. Participants gathered at the Aldine Golf Course for an afternoon of fun and play. Afterwards, attendees and volunteers gathered for appetizers and awards. This year's event sold out at 120 golfers, with an additional 50 sponsors stepping up to provide resources.
A little bit of rain isn't going to stop our donors and our supporters and our sponsors. They are all in for Northern Illinois Hospice, and they are as excited and as positive this year as they were last year when the sun was shining. They love our mission and they love our cause.
Over the past 20 years, more than $500,000 have been raised for these programs, services, and care for hospice patients. A Rockford lottery player just became a millionaire. Last Friday, a winning Mega Millions ticket was purchased from this Casey's on Columbia Parkway. Lucky player's ticket matched all 5 numbers, scoring them a $1 million prize. It's also a big win for that Casey's, which will get a $10,000 bonus for selling the ticket. The winner has 1 year from today, or the winning draw date, to claim their prize. Good luck. Changes could be coming to the U.S. Supreme Court. Up next, the new proposals by President Biden to reform the highest court in the land. And coming up at 6, calling on the community for help, the donation crisis at a local blood center.
Our temperatures have remained in the low 80s for many of us here into the afternoon. Additional warm air advection ahead of our next chances for some thunderstorms will continue over the next few days. I'll track when we could see some of the stronger storms coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Scott Leber, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
President Biden in Texas this afternoon talking about his proposal that would fundamentally change the U.S. Supreme Court. It includes term limits and a code of conduct. The president is also calling for a constitutional amendment on presidential immunity. Perry Russum is in Washington with more.
President Biden today making his pitch for major reforms to the Supreme Court. In a Washington Post op-ed this morning, Biden says he wants to change the lifetime appointment for justices, creating term limits. Biden says a president should appoint a justice every 2 years, with justices being capped at serving 18 years on the high court. Biden also calling for a Supreme Court binding code of conduct. The president writing, "Every other federal judge is bound by an enforceable code of conduct, and there is no reason for the Supreme Court to be exempt." And Biden says he wants a constitutional amendment limiting the broad presidential immunity established by the High Court earlier this month, writing, "We are a nation of laws, not of kings or dictators." It comes as the race for the White House is taking shape. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump on the campaign trail.
We're the underdogs in this race.
A Kamala Harris presidency means 4 more years of extremism, weakness, failure, chaos, and probably World War III.
New polling from ABC News and Ipsos shows enthusiasm surrounding both candidates. Harris leading the way among all adults with 48%, Trump with 39%. On the right, among independents, Harris at 49%, Trump with 31%. In polling from swing states, Harris and Trump essentially tied among registered voters in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. Harris with a 6-point lead in Minnesota. And today, House Speaker Mike Johnson reacting to Biden's ideas on the Supreme Court, saying the dangerous gambit of the Biden-Harris administration is dead on arrival in the House. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Scattered showers passed through the state line this afternoon. After the break, Jordan tells us about the heat coming to the region soon.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Our scattered round of some showers and even a few storms continues to push out to our east with slightly drier air in the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere moving in. We still have to keep a closer eye on some storms up to our north, now beginning to move a little bit closer across portions of Wisconsin, although those are currently in a weakening trend given the lack of instability that we have compared to some areas down to our south. With the drier air, we've seen a few breaks in the clouds as well, showing up very well with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera overlooking Beloit, Wisconsin. And those breaks in the clouds have allowed our temperatures to warm, a couple of spots even getting into the low 80s. Right now we're at 80 degrees in Rochelle as well as in Rockford, 79, and Freeport 81, in Janesville 78. In DeKalb. But our dew points are still a little bit on the higher side and will remain the case as we head into the night tonight. We're going to see those dew points remaining in those low 70s, and temperatures will be falling very close to that, which may allow for some patchy fog to develop into the overnight hours. We then maintain that humidity with dew points even rising into the 70s as we get into the afternoon and going over the next couple of days. That will help to fuel a potential thunderstorm chance and even some chances for some severe weather. So we have a few windows that we can break down our potentials going forward over the next few days. The first of which would be potentially tomorrow afternoon. Our focus for any storm development during that time would likely be with anything that would start to initiate up to our north or to our northwest, diving through the area as we head into those afternoon hours. If that were to come through, that would likely limit our potential chances late into the day on Tuesday. Likewise, to the opposite of that, if we don't see those activity in the early part of the afternoon tomorrow, higher chances for storms into Tuesday night. So the uncertainties therefore remain with the positioning of our front and our instability gradient, but also with what happens with the immediate round previous. Similar uncertainties exist for Wednesday and going into Thursday, the position of our front, whether or not we have that instability, and if that instability will line up with any of our upper air support with some mid-level waves that will be passing through the region. So a little bit of an example of how things might potentially play out with one computer model is we still have a lot of that instability down to our south, which is why all of that storm activity that we would have otherwise expected into the day today is now off to our south and to our east. Heading into tomorrow, this particular example of a computer model does bring a complex of storms into the early hours of tomorrow afternoon, and that would likely then wipe out all of our instability for the later part of the evening, shifting our storm potential later on down to our south. If we don't see that round early into Thursday, that would likely bring those storm chances a bit further to the north as our instability would remain in place. Either way, instability will then build back up as we get into Wednesday, as we then see additional thunderstorm activity starting to form off to our northwest and moving our way. Throughout this whole time, we're also going to be seeing a potential for some flash flooding concerns. With any of these storms, it would likely develop very, very heavy rain and potentially some back building, which may allow that flash flooding concern with multiple inches of rain falling in a short amount of time. Also, during those afternoons, we could see the potential for some heat and humidity. High temperatures are going to be building back up into the upper 80s and low 90s, with our heat index values at times even pushing close to the triple digits. But the good news is that we are going to start to clear out and dry out, with temperatures returning back into the mid 80s as we head closer to the weekend.
Jordan, thank you. Scott's up next with sports. The White Sox have made their first big move before the trade deadline. We'll find out which players are on the move. And Caleb Williams tells us if he wants to play in the Bears' first preseason game Thursday night in Canton.
Now, sports with sports director Scott Lever.
We're less than 24 hours away from baseball's trade deadline. The White Sox are already clearing the deck. They have parted with three key players today. Pitchers Eric Fetty and Michael Kopech and outfielder Tommy Pham are all gone thanks to a three-team trade with the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Kopech is going to the Dodgers, so give them another bullpen arm. Fetty and Pham are headed to the Cardinals. The Cardinals are currently 3 games, making 6 games behind the Brewers. They're all in on making the playoffs this year. Fetty especially will bolster the Cardinals' starting rotation with his 3.11 ERA. Here's what the White Sox are getting. 3 young players, 24-year-old outfielder Miguel Vargas and infield prospects Alexander Albertus and Ariel Perez. They also will be receiving a player to be named later. We'll see if Garrett Crochet goes between now and late tomorrow afternoon. Cubs are opening up series in Cincinnati tonight. Jamison Tyone will pitch. The Cubs have won only 2 of 7 games against the Reds so far this season. Well, Matt Eberflus will tell reporters tomorrow which Bears starters will play and which ones won't in Thursday night's Hall of Fame game against the Texans. Caleb Williams says he does want to play. Now here's how he assesses his training camp performance so far.
I think I'm on track to be ready. Exactly where I need to be and where they want me to be. I'm excited. Every day I wake up, I'm learning something new. We're towards the install right now for this portion, which is very exciting. To think that not too long ago I didn't know really anything about this offense, and now I know a lot more than I did then. So progressing, excited, and ready to go.
And your running back, Antonio Brown, could get consideration for one of college football's main awards this coming season. He's been named to the watch list for the Maxwell Award. That award goes to the outstanding player in college football. Brown will be a senior this season. Last season, he rushed for almost 1,300 yards for the Huskies. That put him second in the MAC and in the top 20 in major college football. The Blackhawks have 2 more players under contract for next season, whom we know very well here in Rockford. Defenseman Louis Crevier and Isaac Phillips have signed 2-way contracts for the upcoming season. They split time last season between the Ice Hogs and the Blackhawks. Crevier played 41 games here. Phillips played in 29 games here. Phillips will be entering his 5th pro season in the organization, but he's still only 22. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Jordan, I learned today I need new windshield wipers. The scattered showers, they were causing streaks.
You might need some more, especially as we have the next few days ahead. So you might have to expedite that process. Get some windshield wipers a little bit quicker, because we do have some scattered storm chances to talk about pretty much every day going forward. It's not going to rain at all day, but nonetheless, we at least have those scattered storm chances for the next few days in a row. Our storms that we had earlier today now exiting to the region to the east on the First Warn Interactive Radar from Rockford, Glastonbury. We have a few main windows to watch out for storms, the first of which would be early afternoon tomorrow. If that were to materialize, it would likely diminish our storm chances late into the evening. Conversely, if we don't see storms Tuesday, higher chances into the evening. Again, then late Wednesday, and then likely as we head into Thursday and Friday.
Thanks, Jordan. We'll see you again at 6.